Hello, hello. Hopefully you can hear me okay. I've got another set of headphones on just now. But welcome along to the Sausage Cab Podcast British Touring Car Watch Along, which is a mouthful for me. Sorry, I need to put my little note thing up here. Um, so welcome and welcome, welcome. And we are just waiting for round 26, I believe, to get underway, which should be at around 25 past 2. So I'm just still setting up a few bits and bobs. I was a little bit late, but I thought, why not be an eager beaver and get back online. Hello, Rich, again, from Pit Lane Sim Racing. Is audio good? Yeah, cheers for that. Um, you're still seeing the timings up here on the screen from the previous race, which was the Quaif Mini Challenge, which I've not had a chance to catch up on. So, ooh, I think Sarah's prepping us a Sunday dinner. So if she's watching, if she's not, then no, I've seen some of the stuff in the kitchen. I think she's going to be prepping that. So look forward to that, because streaming is hungry work, isn't it, Rich? So I've just got to get another app up. And then we'll catch up on some of the coverage, etc. Wait a minute. Still new to all this. See if we can get a few more folk in. I can see why you sing quite a lot on stream, Rich, because it's a nice little gap filler. I'm not going to start breaking into any Sweet Caroline or anything like that. Here we go. So basically, I've got a little. Oh, God, that's loud. So the footage is on some. We're on an ad break just now, anyway. So a little roundup from race one. Basically, Rory Butcher came away with that victory eventually. Had to hold off Jake Hill, who looks really racy in that BMW for West Surrey, and Morgan finished third in the BMW for Car Gods. Um, so I'm just wondering if Morgan will be as racy race 3. That's my only question mark. He's got Shedden, Ingram, Sutton and Camish queuing up behind him. So it will go on the fact if they can get these rears warmed up on these rear wheel drive cars and ready to go for the lead. But Butcher again, Butcher took off race 1. He'll have a little bit less. You singing along when I um, yeah, Butcher will have a little less hybrid this race, so I didn't. It's hard to see on the cameras whether the hybrid actually had um, a really good physical advantage. We've seen when I've been at the tracks this season, and you can see the hybrid being deployed, especially up the hill at Knock Hill. You could see them physically closing in using the hybrid button. But here it's hard to see on. It's hard to gauge with the TV angles if the hybrid's having such a big advantage. But we'll keep an eye on the times and we'll see. They are showing some highlights still of the Mini Quaif Challenge, Quaif Mini Challenge. Looks some great racing actually. Is that Ronan Pearson? Oh, yep, Ronan Pearson looks like he got a second place there. He's a young Scottish driver. That's quite good news. Hello, Dave. So it looks like they probably still are on schedule actually. It's only 8 minutes past 2. What did we make of that race one? If there's anyone new in chat or if anyone's got anything to say, what did we make of that race one? I thought for a circuit that people call boring and it's only got 3 corners, I thought that was highly entertaining stuff. I'm just hoping that race 2 does the same. It could be a bit tasty. Well, you're not well, Dave. I hope you get well soon, mate. You can always watch it back. It has opened up the championship. The top 4 is basically anyone's now. And I can't think of any. I can't think of many other championships where you've got you. I mean, depends what's going to happen in this round here, and then the final round today. But then I can't think of many series where you go into the final race or the final 3 races of the season with 4 people within a chance of winning the title. That's mental. And even more mad is I think that 2 of them are on the same team. So, well, West Surrey provides 2 of the cars. So there he is, Harry. Harry's back. Right, Harry. Yeah, it's just now on the TV. It's just showing the mini guys. It's good to see Pearson up there. He's really progressed. He's really got to hang with these. Got a hang of these minis, and he's competing really well. I'll actually have a quick check and see where he is in the championship just while we wait. I think they're saying that basically the mini Quaif challenge, the Quaif mini challenge that I keep on saying backwards. I'll just call it the mini challenge, right? I don't need to start sticking the sponsorship in there. They're just saying that's pretty much wrapped up. But it could still change Brands Hatch if it goes terribly wrong. Yeah, Sam Weller is leading that. He was just talking there. I was trying to listen while chatting myself, which I'm not very good at yet. But I think Sam Weller, I think he won that last race. But I think he was a championship leader coming into this weekend, and I think he's pretty much got it wrapped up. So still exciting racing to watch. And I think there's probably still other trophies within that championship up for grabs, so that'll be interesting to watch. I'm still deciding whether I can actually get down to Brands Hatch to watch the final race of the season. Because it's also Jason Plato's final hoorah as well, isn't it? So Dave's hard so he can handle it. He's so hard he's had to write that 3 times according to my chat, unless my chat's glitchy. What's going on here? What's going on in here? Are you trying to make it down to Brands as well, yeah? If I do make it, I'll come have a chat, I'll come and meet you. Oh no, it's my camera. I think my camera might have frozen. So this is a challenge for John to see if he can get webcam working again after it's frozen. It's frozen with a startled look upon my face. No, that's not worked. Wait a minute. He's that hard, he's bloody bollocks my camera up on me. Oh, sorry, this is a child-friendly show. I should stop. Try not to swear. Right, where is it? Webcam properties. should be back now, I think. I should be back now. Look at him. Streamer extraordinaire. I hope you feel better soon anyway, mate. There's a lot of people, I know a lot of people who are not feeling great just now. Even my daughter, she's woke up not feeling great today, so she's having a bit of a chilled out craft day. Or she was this morning anyway. Wait a minute, where's my lights gone? Where's this? Whoa, that's a bit bright. Yeah, you better go, Dave. It's child friendly, mate. Although I don't know if that counts for chat. I think it's just I've got to watch what I say. So still on some adverts. It will be interesting for me though, race 2, to see whether Shedden can attack Morgan and Hill, or whether that's pretty much him. Ingram is probably going to want it. He's probably going to want it a little bit more, and he's got a championship to fight for, so Sutton's behind him. Then you've got Camish. Camish is the rear gunner to Ash Sutton, so another one that's potentially very, very interesting, like. And hope our guy Creasy as well, I think he finished down in 16th. I think he actually had a bit of a hard race there. I think he was unlucky to get tagged early on, turned sideways, which lost him a couple of places after he gained a good few places, I think. So I think he went from something like 20th to 17th to 20th to 16th. So he's made up a lot of places. So hopefully he can go forward. He's got Aaron Taylor Smith in front of him, who he's a tough driver. He's a tough driver. There's a couple on the paddock who don't seem to get on well with each other due to various reasons, but Aaron's a bit of a tough driver, and he'll make sure he's got his elbows out. So if Creasy can pass Taylor Smith, then he's got the simple task of passing Plato, and then Josh Cook, then Dan Lloyd. I mean, as you go up and down this is the thing with touring cars, is as you go up and down this grid, there isn't in that top 15. It's a tough grid. There's not an easy pass. So he'll be hoping maybe just to pick up the pieces of a few instances, when people get run wide or get caught up in a gaggle. You think Hill will go for it? Yeah, I kind of agree with you, Dave. I thought he wanted to. You can see it in Hill. He's got this. He's almost got to fight the urge to race, because he's always wanting to go for a pass. It's just in his instincts. I remember when he got his first win taken off him. I thought you'd like that gaggle. I've learnt it from the best, Rich. Hill, he got his first race win taken off him, I believe, when he tagged Matt. I mean, he did. He tagged Matt Neal, and Matt Neal went sideways, and Hill went through, took the win, and obviously they reversed the places at the end of the race, but he just couldn't turn off that kind of urge to go for first regardless, and it seems that's always the way he is. Which is brilliant for us. They're talking to Camish just now, so I might listen in and see what they say. Because he had a good weekend at Thruxton, Camish, and it's probably his first good weekend he's thrown together, because he's had a bit of a torrid time this year with a car and actually, yeah, he has actually been qualifying better and racing better than Sutton in the last couple of meetings. So it's interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure that they think the Ford is quite quick enough to challenge the front three, but if anybody can, Ash Sutton can. And I think when Dan Camish gets to grips with his car, which it looks like he is, I think he'll be competitive as well. For a title, I mean. If Napa, I don't know, I can't remember how long Napa's deal is, but what else are we saying? Cheers for coming in anyway, Dave. And Pitlane Sim Racing and Hasdog. Camish is just explaining just now that regardless of his pace in race two, he can't pass Sutton. You know, just as a circumstance, he cannot pass Sutton. So he's in this little bit of a catch 22 where, well, it's not really a catch 22. He cannot go past Sutton for the championship reasons. He can't go past him. But he's also got to stop Ricky Collar getting past, or he can get eaten up by Collard, Jelly, Chilton behind him. So it's a tough one for Camish, isn't it? Is he got to take a different line to try and block off the track like a rolling roadblock, or is he? It's a tough one. As a racing driver, I know what Camish is like. I remember him in the Porsches, and he was an absolute beast of a competitor in the Porsches, and he'll hate having to sit there behind Sutton and kind of take his medicine. While, well, he's just going to be watching his mirrors, isn't he, the whole race? If he's quicker on race pace than Sutton, he's going to have an issue here. Yeah, he's basically saying he'll wait his turn because he knows he's not in a championship. And I think pretty massive sponsorship deal with Ford and Napa um, for that team. So I think it's probably more important that they keep both cars competing and finishing in competitive positions than it is for him to be tangling up with his teammate who's going for a championship. Oh, my camera has frozen again. I'm gonna have to figure out why it does this. Um, might just be my dodgy. Might need to buy a better quality camera. Yeah, I agree, Rich. Sutton is a bit of a class act. A lot of people thought of him as a rear-wheel drive driver only. And it's probably because they only saw him in a rear-wheel drive car for when he was in the Infinities and before that when he was in the Lavorg for the Subaru. But it's gone again. Sorry, my camera keeps on. My camera keeps on freezing for some reason. So I'm not sure why. Back. Yeah, but as I was saying, a lot of people thought Sutton was a rear-wheel drive driver only because he done well. I think it was in Ginettas as well. But he's proven in Clio's and he's proven in a front-wheel drive car that he's rapid as well. So he's just a bit of an all-rounder, a bit of an all-round gritty, skillful racing driver. Yeah, I forgot about Formula Ford actually. I mean that's the ultimate, isn't it? He's been an open wheel, tin top, front wheel, and rear wheel, and well, and a GT series as well, I suppose, the Ginettas. Ingram's saying that he's a bit stressed. Um, and he made a good point actually. I think they did set the fastest lap on that first race. So I think he was kind of elbowed out of position and then struggled to get back in front. Going for a break. I'll have to update these timing screens, etc. in a bit. But yeah, it makes for a really interesting race first of all, but then the uh, the championship, it's just mental. A lot of folk, you get folks saying, "Oh yeah, but it's a bit fake, isn't it? Because you've got a balance of performance and blah blah blah, and it should be the quickest wins and stuff." Yeah, it should be, but this, I suppose, the balance of performance in essence kind of makes it look like they're all in the same car and who's the most consistent and quickest driver. So yeah, it's interesting that Rich. I think there was murmurings of him having an offer on the table with V8 supercars, wasn't there? And I think he turned them down. Uh, it would be pretty cool to see him go over there. My only worry is that I only know Ash Sutton because I like the British touring cars and all its support series. And as if he went away to an amazing series like the V8 supercars, would I see him? I'd have to actively try and figure out how to watch that because I don't see it. It's probably at the wrong time of day half the time, obviously, because it's in Australia and things, but it kind of happened when Shedden went away to World Touring Cars. I had to actively go searching on the internet to figure out where he'd finished and what was happening because it's not really openly televised in the UK. Although I suppose there's probably no excuse with the internet nowadays, but it's kind of out of sight, out of mind sometimes, isn't it? Where these drivers go and disappear to and how they get on. Yeah, that's what I thought, Rich. It is incredible. I used to really enjoy watching it. It was when there was a guy called Coulthard actually, and he was in a Red Bull car, a Red Bull livery, and I used to think, is that David Coulthard? As he went for a season for V8 Supercars. I think it was Fabian, wasn't it? Fabian. Do, 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 do. Yeah, you could be right, Rich. He's going to have a little bit more hybrid. He didn't look off the pace, did he, in that first race? He looked really strong in the race. So here they are, they're all on the grid on my screen, getting ready to go for the formation. Nick Hamilton's in 23rd. It'll be interesting to see how long he holds on to that. 27th, Colin Turkin, that hurts. I mean, it's going to hurt Ash Hand more because he's in 28th, but that hurts for Turkington to see him back there. And Jack Patel, he just seemed to lack a little bit of race awareness in the gaggle as it was. I mean, he did get buffeted, he got banged around a little bit, but it was all because of his first. You don't know what I don't know what the aero washing that is like off these cars. When you're driving side by side, you'd have to do it before you realise how much you get pulled about, etc., under braking and all that. But Josh Cook, we've not even heard him this weekend, have we, Josh Cook? Yeah, it's brilliant, isn't it? Remember Creasy laughing about that one. It's like a fighter pilot. Sorry, I'm just listening to Josh Cook here. Realise I went a bit quiet, but I'm just listening to what he's saying about the hybrid. What's the weather looking like? We're still seeing the weather. Not really anything. It's quite a calm day, no wind. It doesn't look like it's going to rain, so pretty boring. What's it? Track temperature. It's saying it's about 23 degrees. Air temperature about 14. What do you mean, Dave? Do you think it's the car that's pushed him backwards? Or do you think it's... Because he's good enough, isn't he? He'll be your local boy, actually, won't he, Dave? Down there. So what they're saying there, Adam Morgan will have a couple more laps hybrid than the guy in front, Jake. So that's interesting. There we go. So here we go. I'll be a little bit behind you boys. I think back of the grid's still rolling up as I watch, but my timing screens are showing me different. And that's because I'm watching online, which I'm going to try and change. Does look like a bad start from Hill because Butcher seems to be getting a little away a little bit. I'm well behind on the internet, I think, lads. Yeah, it was a bad start by Jake Hill, wasn't it? Looks like Morgan eat him up. But then I think Hill's got him back, but oh my goodness. Yeah, I think I'm a fair bit behind you guys on this internet stream. I might restart it actually for the next one. Chrissy seems like he got a decent enough start. Oof, side by side, weren't they, Morgan and Hill? Side by side, it was three. Shedden flies up the inside. That's unbelievable by. That's absolutely unbelievable by Gordon Shedden, isn't it? He's. How confident was he on the brakes for lap one? So Sutton's getting in there as well, isn't he? He's getting in the mix. So Sutton's up to fourth. Hill's dropped down to third. Shedden up to second. Morgan's suffered a little bit. He's back down to fifth. Some great racing here. Some great racing. Morgan and Sutton having a great little joust. We're on that replay. But eventually Sutton showing his class. And the old webcam is being a dummy. I've lost my camera. I've lost my camera. I've lost my camera. I'm back. I'm not back. Something's going on with this camera. I need to sort it out, don't I? Need to sort it out, don't I? But wow, yeah, what a start. So Butcher's still in first. Butcher's doing well, isn't he? Shedden, his brother-in-law, he's got up. He's still about 1.5 seconds behind though, isn't he? Hill. Sorry, just watching a replay of the start. But Hill, yeah, he's dropped down to third. Sutton fourth. Morgan fifth. Ingram sixth. Camish seventh. Cook eighth. I think I need to update that one as well. Yeah, interesting. Was Jelly spun by him? I didn't see that, Dave. I'm still trying to figure out half of this. The technical stuff here. Butcher's got a good lead again though, isn't he? So Ash Sutton fastest lap of the race, so he's on one. Where's Mr. Crease in all this? He was doing all right. Camera, don't worry about the camera. It keeps on freezing, but I am still here. Yeah, Creasy's 17th, so it's status quo really for him, isn't it? hopefully now he beds in and oof, Ingram's going to go past Morgan here, isn't he? Yep. Yeah, he's done fantastic there, hasn't he, Ingram? He's done fantastic there, really. Whew. So Jake Hill's now done the fastest lap of the race, so quite an interesting one, this one. It's not as action-packed as the first one was. There's bits of Ash Sutton's car falling off. Yeah, into maggots, and then it's an awkward corner, isn't it? It's at the Beckett's hairpin. You kind of clip maggots, and then you break. Well, you're already breaking into the hairpin. Don't know what's going on with this webcam, Rich. Do you? If you've got any tips, Rich, let me know. It keeps on. It just keeps on absolutely freezing. Oh, oh, that's yep. Dexter Patterson is beached. So a safety car, we reckon. Safety car then. Dexter Patterson's car's beached. Where is he beached? Is he beached? Is he beached at Woodcote? No, Cops. Is it? That will help Turkington actually. Yeah, Turk's up to 19th, so yeah, you'll enjoy that. Just watching the incident just now. He runs wide. Uh, it's hard to see what happened with Dexter Patterson there. Oh, yeah, he's already going the wrong direction. It looks like he might have came together with Hamilton. Rough season for Dexter Patterson. Welcome to the touring cars, pal. Yeah, Josh Cook up to 8th. Butcher's still doing well, isn't he? Let's be honest with you. Still doing a mega job there. Morgan went backwards a little bit. He's dropped 3 places. Just watching a replay of the start from Cookie. He has to get around the outside of Bobby Thompson. Is it Cookie I'm watching? Or is it Plato? Yeah, don't worry about lap. Don't worry about track limits on lap 1. I think that's obvious, isn't it? Jesus. Yeah, it was Cook. Yeah, Cook he had a mega start, Cook. So it looks like we're going green. And we're off again, aren't we? So missing so far is only car number 17, which is Dexter Patterson. Um, this is going to be a tough one, isn't it, for Butcher to hold on to? I'm still just behind the safety car on my screen. I know that's a little bit behind because the time you'll see, I think it's more up to date on the little track screen that I've got and the timings that I've got. But yeah, he's still leading after that lap. Car number 52, Shedden. Oof. It's tough. Hill's got this back between his teeth, isn't he? Do we think Hill's going to come in? Oof, he's getting it from both ends, I think, Ingram. I think he was getting a little bit of tap from Morgan through there, but Morgan was probably getting a tap from someone else. Bits hanging off the back of Sutton's car, which is standard. Yeah, I mean, that's he has got to be careful, isn't he, Ingram? He's obviously going to be aggressive. He's against his championship rival with Sutton, but if he gets in a tango and at the point where he ends up sticking Sutton off or anything like that, then Ingram will get an equal penalty, and then they'll hand it back to Turkington, who's making his way up the. Turkington's up to 18th now. Sorry, Turkington's just passed Creasy, so Turkington is up to 17th. It's not shown on screen yet, but he is up to 17th. So Turkington's actually only 2 positions away from the points. So all right, Kirkby, how you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Please make sure you like the stream and subscribe to the channel, please, because that would help us loads. Because we're going to try and do this sort of thing as often as we can, really. And also probably going to have a fans forum type thing where we get people's thoughts on what they've watched. Probably with the whole BTCC or Toka support package, everything. So Hill's taking the lead. I could see that coming. Butcher was doing a great job, Rich, you're right, but I just think that them BMWs when they're up to temperature and they've kind of bedded into the race, they're superb cars. Yeah, I'm good, Chris. How are you? Oh. Just trying out these watch-alongs. It's the first one. Well, this is the second one we've done today. The first race was mega. If you've not watched that yet, watch it back because it was absolutely brilliant. My only issue is that I'm using the my SkyGo on this computer at the same time, and it's quite a little bit behind the actual live footage. So I think I'm going to change that setup, and I'll get my Sky. I'll probably be able to hook my Skybox into this TV here and watch it, so that's fine. But just now we'll just have to make do. But that was a mega move, wasn't it, by Hill? Three kids? Yeah, Shed does look handy. He looks really racy, doesn't he? It's a shame it's came a little bit late for Shedden because he's actually looked really good the last few races. Last few meets. He's looked really good. Oh, and Parfit's off. He's had an absolute mare of a weekend, Parfit. He seemed real dejected when we heard him yesterday speaking. What's happened with Parf? A little bit wide. Oh, he's been tagged back in. Someone's just hit him. Hamilton? Nick Hamilton's just hit him. So this is a weird one. This is brother-in-law old. This is Shedden against Butcher. So I think if they end up tangling up, they might not be might not enjoy the same car ride home. Taylor Swift's done a mega job actually, up to 11th. Just noticed that on the timing screen. Creasy's still struggling for pace a little bit with the Vauxhall down in 19th. Needs a little bit of luck to try and get up that. Yeah, race one was brilliant, Chris. Really entertaining. As far as race one's going, touring cars sometimes they can kind of stagnate a bit, but it was really, really entertaining. Really good racing for the first 3 or 4 laps. Then it bedded in. There was a safety car, and then there was pretty clean racing from there on in. But it was pretty action packed for a first race. This is entertaining how this is panning out. Let's have a little look at the lap times here. I mean, this battle with Shedden and Butcher will be bringing Sutton in, won't it? In the championship is absolute madness as it stands, won't it? It was 3-2-8. Ash Sutton, Jake Hill just behind him. Turkington actually drops down to 4th in the championship after one race. He was the champion, he was the head of the championship going into race one, and he's in 4th now, which is interesting. Hill's away with this one, isn't he? Looks like Hill will probably just manage this one now. Yeah, Morgan looks brilliant, Rich. He's taking it to these guys, and he doesn't care that they're in a championship. He's saying, no, it's racing. And he's hanging on to them and tussling and he's took Ingram. He's a good driver, Morgan. He's another one. He's similar to Cook in the sense that he's been around for a bit. He's exciting to watch. He's just never had the kind of championship package, if you like, the consistency, etc. Very good driver. Still the fastest laps by Ingram there. Which is mad considering he's been in a tussle that Ingram's still fastest lap. It looks like he's towing him along, doesn't it? Really interesting one, this one, isn't it, guys? That Sutton, Ingram, Morgan. Yellow flag. Where have we got a yellow flag? Oh, safety car. So I've not yet seen why there's a safety car. It's saying safety car on my screen. I'm too far behind. Oh, fire, okay. Ricky Collard. Oh, he's not well. He might have took in some fumes there, mightn't he? Um, I mean, it doesn't matter if you're letting the air in if it's a fuel fire. Tim Harvey's talking about it. Oh, be careful, Ricky, you let the air in and stuff. But it, if it's fuel, then it doesn't really matter. It's going to go on fire whether you open the bonnet or not. Yeah, it looks like Ricky might have taken a bit of fumes there the way he jumped out the car, didn't it? They seem to say in the commentary that it was because he leaped out the car to get away from the fire, but it seemed on his hands and knees as if he might have taken a little bit of probably took in some fumes. I mean, the only reason I can think to why they wouldn't pause the race laps in Formula One when it's under the safety car is probably something to do with fuel, isn't it? But then again, shouldn't they be able to manage fuel while tootling round? I don't know. No, it doesn't look like he hit anything, Rich, does it? I think it just looks like some sort of overheating. It's similar, Rich, to what happened to, well, it looks similar to what happened to Creasy early on in the season as well at Snetterton, where he seemed to think there was a leak somewhere under the car. The car spun, but then when he stopped, it seemed that there was something at the front of the car on fire. It seems similar. Turks will be loving this. The fact that there's another safety car, he'll be loving this because he's made some absolutely brilliant. He's went from 27th, was it, or 26th, down to 14th. So yeah, 13 places. 27th. So he's well into the points, and he's probably got a good chance looking at who's in front of him on pace. He could finish in the top 10. Maybe not in 5 laps actually, but you can easily. Ricky Collard looks all right. That's good. He is coughing and spitting stuff up, so I think he did take in a bit of. Dave says Turks reverse grid pull. I wouldn't put it past him. Wouldn't put it past him. Turks has got this kind of thing about he's a seasoned pro, isn't he? And when the proverbial hits the fan and it's all against him, he seems to find a way of digging out something from the weekend, and that's why he's been a multiple champion. Yeah, choking and coughing, Rich. He's inhaled. It probably is fuel or oil. It does seem to be that's one of the things we've seen more of this season. Well, he ran back to the car, didn't he, to get some. What did he run back to the car to do? Oh, he's coughing and stuff. He didn't look very comfortable, did he? Collard didn't look very comfortable there. That looked a bit nasty. He's another one, Ricky, who's shown how good he is in different series and stuff. It just shows you how touring cars is something completely different to get to grips with, isn't it? That's Simon Hill, he's been on the podcast chatting to us with his potato cam. Good guy. He's always in the paddock supporting his son. Green flag, ready to go. So I am slightly behind you guys, but I'm going to try and keep up on the timings, etc. alone. Jake Hill already managing to get a second, is he? Already done him a second there, isn't he, Jake? But it's the launch from that BMW, I think. It's just absolutely unbelievable. Yeah, he left him for dead, didn't he? Launched it. You could tell straight away he was a second on the timing screen. Want to watch. Butcher's still there. Half second-ish to Shed. And Sutton is just behind him. So you've got this concertina effect again, haven't you? But Jake Hill's off. He was either asleep, Rich, or when he lights it up, the front wheels just spin or so. I don't know. But he did seem hesitant, didn't he? Well, the car did. You can see with this amount of cars, you can just see how much it spreads out. It's a shame the guys and girls who are at the kind of mid rear of the pack, they just get left. Who's got the fastest lap? Ingram's still got the fastest lap of the race, which isn't that far off the qualifying time, actually. Interestingly enough. I think Rory Butcher's qualifying time was 57.374, and Ingram has done a 57. Is it a 6.695? Not far off quality pace. Cops corner where nobody sticks the nose in. You're doing touring cars. Beckett's hairpin. Cars still sound good, don't they? Flying under that bridge. Oof. Ingram wanted that, didn't he? That last move that he tried on Sutton. Yeah, will do, Chris. I'll try. I'll get my calculator out and I'll start doing it, or I'll just watch ITV and nick it off them. But um, it was very close, wasn't it? After race one, I think Sutton led by 4 points. Turkington was in second, and Ingram and Hill were both joint on 304. But this race, it's changed everything else, isn't it? So you get 20 points for first place, you get 17 points for second place, you get 15 points for third place, you get 13 points for fourth place, 11 points for fifth place, and then from sixth down it's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, down to 15th. If that made any sense at all. Couple of laps left. We're on the final second to last lap now. But Hill's left him again, hasn't he? I think he's shown that car. Thankful for the reverse grid on race 3 because I think Hill would just take it. He would just take it, wouldn't he? But the battle in second has let him go a little bit as well. So it's because he's still not lapping as quick as Ingram did earlier in the race. So, which is interesting. So what we're looking at on the timings, Creasy's still stuck down in 20th. He's not really managed to break away, has he? Turkington 14th. So I think he gets a couple of points for 14th. Think he'll send it, Dave? Think he'll send it? We're on the last lap now. We're on the last lap now. Oh, it's exciting racing, isn't it? It is exciting, close racing. That front bunch. Butcher's still ahead of Shed and still doing a great job. I wonder if Shed will chuck one down the inside. But we're done. We're finished. Ingram obviously thinking about the championship, I think there. Still not quite finished on screen for me. On the footage, that is. But I know how it's finished because I've got the other screen. Yeah, but what did we think of that race then? What did we think of that one, race 2? Jake Hill deserved it, didn't he? So yeah, you're right, Rich. It's another good one. It's another good one. There's not many bad ones. There's not many bad ones. It is. Ingram against Sutton is so entertaining, considering what's happening with the title. I mean, Sutton. I mean, what is that if he's finished? What was it? Sutton fourth, and fifth, 13th and 12 points. So he's dropped 2 points to him there, Ingram. Not the end of the world. Creasy came home in 19th. It's going to be a tough final race for him. He can't seem to move forward very well at this circuit. It is it seems to be when you're stuck in the kind of mid to rear of the pack. It seems really difficult unless you've got a massive amount of performance difference to get forward here. You see, Turkington's a class act, and he's in one of the best teams, best outfits here. And he managed to get up to 14th, but even then it wasn't a foregone conclusion. He was still scrapping with the mid pack to try and get to 14th, I think it was. 13th. Of course it was 13th because Jelly let him pass. Jelly let him pass on the last lap. On the final corner, I think Jelly let him pass so they could get there. Good stuff. So I'll give you an update on the title in a minute. Jake Hill, Rory Butcher, Gordon Shedden, Ash Sutton, Tom Ingram was the top 5. Adam Morgan managed 6th. Cheers for coming, Rich. I'm getting into a little bit of a flow where I just need to all I need to do is sort out the how I'm seeing the race. So it's a little bit more in line with the rest of the info on screen. So here's the championship there. Ash Sutton on 328, Jake Hill on 326, Tom Ingram on 317, and Colin Turkington on 314. So 14 points from first to fourth. £14, what is that in real terms? So 14 points is the difference between you finishing third and your competitor not finishing in the top 10. I mean, in the top 13, 14. It's going to be super close, isn't it? The final race is really important actually because the reverse grid is going to shake it up a bit points wise, isn't it? If the right number is pulled out the hat, that's of course. I might stay on until the number's pulled out because I think they might do it straight after this race. I've not seen it yet anyway. Jake Hill will be over the moon though. How can you not love it, Dave? Yeah. How can you not love this championship? It's absolutely phenomenal. You'll always get people complaining, oh, it's not as good as the Super Tourer era and it's too much balance but people complained about that when we had normal weight ballast as well. So I think the weight for all the people who come out and say negatives about this championship, I think it's absolutely fantastic. There's not many other championships where you get this type of quality, i.e., that I suppose the professional quality of the teams and drivers, along with the access and the price. The price is massively competitive with, I'd say, probably any other sport I've ever went to. In fact, it's probably value for money for me personally. British Touring Cars is still the best 35 quid I'll ever spend. If you take your kids who are under, I think 16, if they're 15 or under, I think it's free for them. So, or the majority of them. Majority of the tracks, I think that's the case. So it's still 35 quid if you take your kids along. Yeah, only brands left after this. I'm thinking about going. It's one of the only reasons I'm thinking about going is because it's the last race of the season. It's Plato's last race of the season. It's obviously the championship decided as well. And it's a shame that it's over. You just wanted to keep going. I wish you could just have big breaks and just have rolling seasons forever, and they just called a point where that was the end of the season, like Brands Hatch. Brands Hatch is the 8th and 9th of October, Chris. And it usually gets a bit dark for race 3 there. It's usually brilliant seeing them with the lights on and the brakes glowing, etc. It's fantastic. I mean, I'm sure there's other, like, people who are massive motorbike enthusiasts and that, I'm sure they get massive bang for their buck as well when they go to the British Superbikes. And you get to see all the kind of lower series of the bikes and you get to see the sidecar racing and everything as well. So that's another, I mean, that's the top domestic championship for bikes. So this is the equivalent with four wheels. And as I remember, I think they're very similarly priced, or they were, British Superbikes. And my camera has went haywire again. I always seem to get caught in a weird pose with my eyebrow raised. Be right back. I need to sort out the camera situation really. And anyone who's kind of just loitering or just joined or whatever, I can't see any of the metrics anyway. I can't see who's watching. I can just see chat. But we will be back for race 3, the final race, the reverse grid, and that will be at 10 past 5 if everything goes to plan. I'm not sure, Dave, because it's a bit of, it always seems a bit of a shame to come down on a Saturday and miss racing to go home on the Sunday, you know what I mean? But then it's hard work going to racing all day on the Sunday, then driving home. But if you take your time, it's all right. You still be home by 11 o'clock. So I don't know. I'll think about it. I'll have a little look. I'll have a little look and see what happens. The interesting thing about this is it was only a few rounds ago where Hill was almost dismissed from being anywhere near the title, and that there's a point where he was going to have to kind of respect Turkington's position in the title, etc. Jake Hill's just talking about how he loves racing with Rory Butcher, saying how fair he is. That's all right, Chris. Cheers for jumping in, by the way. Cheers. We'll hopefully do more of these. Even if I'm at a race event, I'm going to try and do something, going live, etc. But we'll see. Early days. Oh, so we'll just hang on and we'll see what the reverse grid is, and then I'll probably turn it off 3 o'clock. It's only a couple of hours, and it probably will be back in exactly 2 hours from now. Um, it's funny just listening to Shed and Butcher talking because they are like obviously Rory Butcher is the son of Derek Butcher, I believe, who owns Knockhill, and they own Knockhill and run Knockhill as a business. And Gordon Shedden is married to Rory's sister, so um, it's a bit of a family affair up there. And when they're racing with each other for two different teams, elbow to elbow, it's something to talk about while eating your Sunday dinner, isn't it? I suppose. Shedden, like, if you meet Shedden in real life, he's such a nice guy, but he's an absolute animal on the track. The man's an animal. Just watching Alan Gownall now talking about the championship. He's about to do the draw. I wonder if they've warmed up the balls for Mr. Gow to. Oh, back. Yeah. Oh, cheers, Dingles. Thanks for dropping in. It's even more Scottish now, Dave, because Dingles is Scottish. Right, we'll see what number he pulls out. You probably already know. So he stuck Josh Cook on pole for race 3. So that means for race 3 we'll have Josh Cook first, Dan Camish second, Morgan in third. So he's been up there all day. Ingram, Sutton, Shedden, Butcher, Hill. So Hill's down in 8th. So this could be really tasty, race 3. Um, sorry, Gow's just talking about who they'll replace with Janetta, so I want to see what he says. So he's just basically saying that because Janetta's leaving, he really wants to see a junior program on there. He says it'll probably be 2024 because it's a bit late to try and rush into getting a junior championship on the calendar for 2023. So what we'll probably see in the touring cars next year is support series kind of being not wung in because he'll be doing work now to try and get support series to support certain rounds. So what you'll probably see is like the Porsche Cayman Cup or something similar, which we've already seen on the British touring cars support package. We'll probably see them like something like the Cayman Cup, maybe supporting it, maybe like Thruxton. They might go like Brands, Thruxton, Silverstone, and Snet, but they'll miss out maybe Oulton, Knockhill, and whatever. So that's what will and Croft. So what will probably happen is you'll see something like the Cayman Cup coming in for 2/3 of the season. Then you might see something like the mini Milias coming in for a few rounds because it all goes on budget and what they can afford to be part of the package. And how many rounds they can support. So what you'll probably see next season is a little bit of a botched kind of. So you might see the Super Tourers back for a couple of historic races and stuff like that. But Gao basically made it clear there that he wants a junior package for 2024 because he wants it to be the right package, which is good. It's good because I love it when you see the juniors racing because it's always entertaining. You know, the young folk, they usually start off at about 14 years old. And then I don't know whether he'll look, if he's got a junior package, whether he looks for something which they directly step up to, or whether it's already here, whether it's the minis or whatever. So it'll be interesting, but it's just a shame to lose the Ginettas. I really liked both the Ginetta, well, the GT4 Super Cup and the juniors and the GT5s, etc. I enjoyed it all, so I'm going to have to tune into some British GT, haven't I? But yeah, that's interesting. Cookie's on pole for race 3, which is on at 5:10 if all these races go to plan. And I think that's about it. I think I can't see anything else in chat, I don't think. I think everyone's toodalooed. So I might go and get something to eat and yeah, junior saloon car. That would be good, but I just wonder what you would do. Do you think you'd maybe have like they tend to be a smaller car to handle, don't they, for juniors? So I wonder if not sure. I mean, there's been loads mentioned. I've seen so many mentioned. Folk have mentioned the Praga Cup and that. I mean, that'd be amazing, but I think it's probably a little bit premature to just chuck them in the next season. They've probably got the plans already half sorted out, haven't they? I wonder if Janetta caught them by surprise a little bit by jumping straight over to the SPO. I can't remember the name of the group who run British GT. A junior saloon car championship. What saloon car championship, Dave? What would you think? I mean, they could have a Cupra Cup, um, or the slower minis. We've seen them already. Is that too many minis? You know, the slower minis that don't have the big back wings, a bit less horsepower, but it's a massive package. God, just watching. Oh my goodness, I'm just watching the Formula Ford, the F4 start, and a couple of cars had stalled on the grid, and somebody's came flying past and ripped his front wing off. That's a lucky one. We nearly seen another Billy Munger moment there. We really did. Absolutely madness. Wonder why there's not more lights or more flags when that driver can't move off the grid. The guy at the back's just trying to make gains, and he's just flown straight through and nearly ripped the front end of the car off. So yeah, Saxos are brilliant, but are they readily available nowadays, Saxos? That's the problem, isn't it? Got away with one there, that boy. What is it? I think it is one of the. Is it one of the? What car is it that's went off? Oof, oh my God, he's so lucky there. If you're watching on TV, watch that F4 incident there. He's so lucky off the start. They all fly away. Once somebody gets stalled, somebody's rolling a little bit, somebody's completely stalled with lights flashing. To be fair, the yellow flags are out on the right hand side, but because of the width of the track on the national circuit, there's nothing on your left. And he's just collected them and ripped his front wing off. I'm not sure. Yeah, a lot of people have said that, Dave, that they think it should be a higher level standard of motorsport for it to be in the TOCA package. I think that generally goes on finances. They generally want a group like Ginettas and that who produce cars and stuff because but the yeah, you're right. I think I only saw a single yellow. I think one of the other marshals was doing something else because there wasn't doubles. Um, it's hard with Saxos. Are they going to find enough chassis and readily available shells and all the rest of it for that kind of series? But that size of car, I think that would be perfect for as a support race or a support series, a junior series. But folk were saying, "Oh, bring back the Clios," but it's direct competition. You would have a split grid between people who wanted to be in the Mini Cup and the people who wanted to be in the Clios because they wouldn't realise which was the better for the step up to touring cars, would they? Fiesta Cup, that'd be cool. Different manufacturer. Can't have enduro car, can we? Because we only have 20 minutes. Right, I think I'm going to wrap it up just now. Cheers for coming in. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will pop back on around. I'll probably get on a little bit before 5. I'll get on a little bit before 5 to do race 3, the reverse grid, and hopefully my internet will be a little bit more up to date on this so that I'm more up to date with what's actually going on in the race. Yeah, it's the Caymans, I think, Dave. I think it was the Caymans that they had before. I think Tim Harvey had a go on them. They had a couple of races, and they were really entertaining, actually. But again, you've got then 2 Porsche series, and I don't know. They'll try and fill it with what they can for the next season, and then he'll have a better idea for 2024, I guess. Anyway, I'm going to skedaddle just now. So cheers for watching, and I'll see you at about 5.